Here we are on March the 24th, 2025. We're going to finish up a mulch job, and it was one that I started yesterday, and then we're going to go mow some lawns. It's been a minute since I've been in this truck. I've been running the Chevy with the trailer for about a week and a half now. Maybe you can tell, maybe not. Actually, let me just step out while you see the pollen on the windows. Maybe not, like the yellow on my truck. Pollen is bad this year, so you're gonna see a lot of skips and edits in this video or right now, because I walked outside for 5 minutes this morning and holy cow, like immediate, just I've got the heavy duty regimen of allergy meds, right? I got 2 nasal sprays, I got the Allegra, right? Like, that pollen is crazy. So last night I posted the Never Ending Rock Job, which is probably going to be as frustrating as that day was for me. That video is going to be one of my favorites to look back on, just because of how ridiculous the whole situation was, and them trying to defend themselves. Probably could have edited it down shorter, but honestly, I genuinely liked the way the video turned out, so I left it. The mulch job today is kind of a weird situation too, because it is bagged pine bark nuggets, which I hate pine bark nuggets to begin with, but they just wash out too much. Last year I went out here and I did it with 90 bags, and I was short last year. I think I was short 10 bags last year. Started with 90, I was short 10. Yesterday I went out there, I went ahead and I brought 120 bags, and I'm still short this year by like 15 bags or something. So like, is that just shrinkflation? Did I accidentally just go freaking heavy handed because I had more with me? Or like, I don't understand how I managed to do that, but I did it, right? I gotta run and pick up a handful of bags, get that job done, and then take my pictures, because I'm really trying to step up my picture game this year, doing the, really nice, not just an iPhone camera. Like, I've had this really high-end camera for years, which at this point it's not high-end anymore, but it does take better pictures than the iPhone. And so instead of getting a new up-to-date camera, I went ahead and I bought a really nice lens for this one. The lens costs about as much as the camera itself. So it's a nice lens, and it actually does make a difference. Like, it's kind of crazy. If you go back and you look at the pictures at the end throughout this video, and then at the end of the rock job from hell, you should be able to know, like, they're pretty nice pictures for what that camera is. But I'm going to get some few, gas up, and then I'll talk to you a little bit more. All right, here we go to finish on this one. We've got whole landscape done. Not really paying attention to the camera, so the angles will be bad. Just throwing out some weed prevention. Alright.
that. There's the lawn, all cut up. We got our palm straw over here. Looking good, looking good. Just trying to get our prevention down. And we've got all of our fertilizer around each and every plant. And the hope, of course, is that we don't have to do much after this for the year. Let's try that. So it doesn't take much on the preen. You know, the big thing for me is the edges. You know, I really hate seeing weeds on the edges of my landscape. We came through and sprayed all the weeds last week. And then I dug some out today, the big stuff. You know, that's sort of how I do it. We'll use chemical for all the small little tiny like pick stuff. But that's sort of how we do it. There's the lawn. Looking good, looking good.
Camera recording.
Camera recording. Oh, yeah. In the shady spots, you don't have to go as heavy because not as much grows in the shade. And we're gonna go real heavy on these edges. This stuff really doesn't grow back here. All right, I got a refill. Almost got the whole thing. Check that out. Look at that. And a nice little truck today. So did all the big stuff yesterday. But here's the deal. As a solo, you know, 2 days out on a property is a lot. It's a long time. But the goal for me is I don't want questions. I don't want I don't want to get a call back in the middle of the busy April growing season to come pull weeds. Okay, come pull weeds and, you know, do a bunch of stuff that you really don't have time to do when the grass is actually growing. So I'm trying to do everything that I can today while I'm here. And you know, I said this is the last step, but it's not even, because I've got this gravel behind me, and I need to spray it out. And what we do with that is you spray with a prevention product in your Roundup liquid, and hopefully you don't have to mess with that the rest of the year. So, you know, it's a lot to do as a solo, but it's definitely worth it as long as you are successful and you don't have weeds and your mulch is good, your plants are thriving. You don't have much to worry about, you know.
Here are the finished pictures on that property. Really happy with how they turned out, but you guys let me know what you think. I really love the clarity in these pictures, and it actually kind of captures sort of what I see. And I know the camera sometimes doesn't pick up on the GoPro, but I'm really happy with these.
All right, so here's some spray results. Sprayed a couple weeks ago, and we're not spraying in the back except for, you know, I do a little line just to kind of keep the weeds off of the front lawn. But you can see where we haven't sprayed, and then when we move into where we have sprayed, you get a little bit of this dead stuff here, right? And so let's say it's about a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks, and this stuff is finally dying off. And now the thing about the chemicals is a lot of them aren't going to be 100% effective in the winter months. So this is sprayed in we say second week of March. So you can see all the stuff wilting away, turning brown, and a lot of that will be gone come April, when things heat up and these chemicals are able to work a little bit more effectively. See all the wilting stuff there. But that's one treatment, and then
on the front lawn, and we'll fertilize and try to get this Bermuda to spread forward. When they did their Bermuda, they only sawed it up to a certain line, so we're going to try to get it to spread and fill in over time. All right, so this is a lawn that we have like a water issue in. This is the first cut of the year on it, and it's always a mess. You can see how tall it is. With that one little section, I have to trim out, and here are some pictures to actually see it better. And you can tell where we have to trim because you can see the neighbor tried to help, but he couldn't get in very far. But that whole clumpy section is where we have to trim because that water just fills the entire space. All right, so earlier in the week, I had a text message from another customer, another one. Well, I expected to lose this one just because pricing, you could tell, right? And it's another, and I don't care about losing the customer. It's the fact that they hired someone else, okay? And I understand price is sensitive. It's an issue, okay? But they're not even weed eating this whole spot. They haven't mowed the entire thing. They only mowed a portion of it. So they can't even get the property done, or they're just not doing the property entirely, which leads me to my next point, which is I can do less and charge less if the price is that big of a pain point. Like, look at all I'm doing. If you need to pay less, I can absolutely do less. You don't have to go somewhere else for that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's so frustrating that people are so they're so price sensitive and they're so avoidant of conversation that they just go and get less elsewhere. Like, I would love to not spend 3 hours manicuring your warehouses. I would love to do less. Less is always great. I love less. Okay, especially if you're happy with less, I would love to do less. And you know what? I'll even charge you less. But you have to have a conversation. Like, it's so funny. This is the third or fourth time, okay, that I've probably had this happen in this way. And there's certain properties where I wouldn't want to do less. But the funny thing is, like, this is one where I would absolutely take on less work and be totally fine with it. You know, just have a conversation, guys. Talk to people. You know, we don't bite. We're not mean. We're not evil. You know, I don't understand. Check out that pollen. It's so much on the ground, it's like sticking. It's that time of year, though. Alright, here we are on a little lawn that it's got a really strange layout, but they also had some trees removed. And yeah, what a mess, man. And to this day, sitting here as I record this in May, on May the 22nd, the little holes here have not filled in. So we're going to have to eventually, like, look how dusty that is, man. We're going to have to bring in some dirt and just try to fix the whole thing. I wish they would have got these stump spots, because I just right there rode over a spot that had an old stump. But check this out, the steep slope. I can just roll right over the concrete right there. The blades are still running. And you just get this weird little section. Like I say, the whole thing is just a very odd yard. But the funny thing about this juniper here in the back, if you look at the right side of the screen, it's all patchy and stuff. The reason it's that way is because they kept asking me to cut it shorter and shorter, and I was trying to advise them, like, you know, don't just leave it, because, you know, if you get into the dead, or if you get into the foliage too far, you know, you're going to have bare spots, and it's going to take it a couple of years to fill out. And you know, that was you know, 2 years ago. And there it is, man. And of course, it's chock full of weeds now, so we have to do all that maintenance on it. You know, I wish I had pictures of it before they got that second trim, because it looked amazing. It looked fantastic. Totally full, healthy, perfect color to it. Like, it just looked really, really good. And I tried, so I was like, please, just let's leave it. And they're like, no, if it can go just a little bit shorter. And now, you know, you see it. I don't know, man. And that's something that I wonder sometimes, like, how much should I fight for those moments? You know, should I really say I'm absolutely not doing it and then risk losing this whole job and all the work that comes with it? Because, I mean, just this year, a couple months after this video, we redid all the pine straw on the hillside down here. Not this, but you'll see in a later video. And that was a really, really big job, and paid pretty well. Like, you know, so like if I really push an issue like that juniper, you know, or whatever, juniper, you risk losing all that work, you know. But at the same time, the thing is ruined now, and they still don't like it, you know. And I kind of suggested, like, why don't we just remove it? I was like, well, we don't want to do that either. So it's like, you know, and it's not to say that they're bad people or anything. It's just like, you know, it's just one of those things. Like, what do you do? Like, what options do I have as the service provider? You know, because I know what would be best for that plant would have been to leave it after that first cut and keep it in that maintained shape. That would have been the absolute best case scenario for that, because it didn't really have weed issues or anything either until we did that second cut. But it's not my house, so I don't get to choose those types of things, you know. And that's something that you have to always kind of remember, is like, you know, a lot of this stuff is not actually your choice, and people want to make this funny comment of like being their own boss, and that's just not the case. You know, you have 30 or 40 or 50 or more bosses when you start your own business, and they all have their own little ideas and plans for the way things should be, you know. So keep that in mind if you're thinking of starting this thing. But here we are, spraying a little hillside, getting it all cleaned up. I think this one was earlier in the video. This is the neighbor to that one, and just doing their follow-up treatment, and then we're going to fertilize out here. This is the one earlier in the video where I was out a couple days prior and mowing and talking about killing the weeds and stuff. But this is when we did our first round of fertilizer. We did a little supplement fertilizer in like April something, and we're getting ready. I just aerated this one here in May. You'll see that later. And I want to say we're doing our second round of fertilizer in June. I need to check my schedule. Hair's looking crazy. It's hot. It's like 80 degrees. It was literally snowing last Monday. So, no, it was snowing this Monday. I have a video on my Facebook talking about it. Kind of stupid, like just the stark change in weather, but there you go, man. A couple sprayed, fertilized. These were late starters, so they're gonna have a few more weeds. So the one on the steep hill, we actually did their pre-emergent weed prevention application in October, and it worked out really well. I mean, you saw how much there was to spray compared to the other one. The other one we started it 2-3 weeks ago ish, and you can see the weeds are dying on it. It's one of those things where that second one, they really only sodded just a little teeny tiny strip. It's not enough to really handle to really make a lawn out of that yard. So we're gonna have to fertilize the heck out of it. Normally I would just do this fertilizer application today
But on something like that, I'm gonna probably try to fertilize it twice, and hopefully we get a ton of rain. We've been in a dry spell for the last week and a half. For a minute there, it looked like the rain was going to be an issue, but now it's bone dry out here, man. If it had been raining like we expected it to, we would be just completely in over our heads right now with grass to mow, and doing landscapes like I'm wanting to do would be so difficult. And then spraying on top of that. Why did I make more work for myself?
All right. Here's another lawn that we sprayed weeds out of about a week and a half ago. Look at all that dead, dying. Got a few little tough ones here and there, but a lot of nice dead weeds going in there. We can almost see the line where we stopped. You know, just right in there. But today we're going to mow it down short, get rid of all the stuff, and then we'll fertilize.
All right, so this lawn, it has actually turned out really, really well. Obviously, the video you're looking at right here in March, we're just kind of getting started. There's still a lot of grassy weeds in it in this video, but we just sprayed a little Celsius and Certainty, which if you know, you know. This thing hopefully is going to look like $1 million. Right now it looks like, you know, $750,000. As I record this in May, I went out just last week, and the sod that he had here, I don't know what it is. It was like supercharged, but all I've done is the same treatments as the other ones. No, I guess in fairness to this one, in fairness to those others, this one actually was sodded properly, and it actually did have a really strong stand of grass last year. The other ones did not at all, and they were not sodded properly. They're new constructions. They were put on like concrete and like foundation, like hard compacted dirt, just really bad. So it's more of a struggle there than this one is. This one has good dirt and good, you know, work with the initial sod, right? But like I say, this one looks like so good right now. Just even pulling up on it, it's like, ooh, wow. Like it's, you could tell something's been done to it, you know. But hey man, that's it for the video. I really appreciate you if you've hung around, and leave me a comment. Let me know what you want to see in later videos, and for sure I can try to incorporate things and make these a little more interesting, right? Thanks for watching.